I can't believe you never heard of me. I'm a very popular entertainer.
Good morning, everybody. It's Tuesday. All right. Toronto Riggers, #1 in the building again. Yo, shout out to you, my sister. What up, cuzzo? Good morning. Health Talk, what's good, my guy? What's good? And of course, brick by brick. Y'all doing big things out here in these streets. Proud of you, man. Y'all inspiring me. Keep going. Don't stop. Hey. What's up, Bobby at? I tell you what, girl, you gotta stop doing me like this. Going out there, increasing your skills in the workplace. Leaving me at home. Where they do that at? Good morning. What's up, Mo? Yo, hope everybody's doing well. Welcome to another morning motivation. I'm your host, Jamon. If you don't know me by now, you will never know me. Ooh. Well, yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. This week, we're talking about purpose, finding purpose. Finding purpose. What does that mean? How do we do it? There's a book by this guy named Viktor Frankl, and it's called Man's Search for Meaning. I read this book some years ago, and it was honestly, it was over my head the time that I was trying to read it. But it's a guy who was a Jew that was in the concentration camps back when Hitler was trying to basically kill all the Jews. And he talked about how people were he watched people be broken mentally. He watched people resist and hold on to whatever shred of dignity that they could. But he noticed the theme that everybody was searching for, the meaning of this, the meaning of what's happening in this situation. Why am I here? What am I supposed to be doing? And he titled the book, Man's Search for Meaning. I think I'm going to go back and reread it now that I've matured a little bit more. But I thought it was an interesting book because that's one question that I've always asked myself. What am I supposed to be doing with my life? Why am I here? Was I just an accident that, why am I here? Why am I here? So good morning, family. Good morning. That's right, missing my queen. No, definitely not the vocals. Anybody who thought they were a singer and then they actually tried to sing early in the morning, the morning tells it. People that can sing can sing. They can sing whether it's nighttime, morning time, middle of the day. Don't matter when it is. They can sing when they're sick. They can sing. And it still sounds better than people who really can't. I'm one of those people that I can carry a tune, but only at certain times. So if you catch me in that right time, though, catch me at the right time. You think I'm headlining somewhere, but any other time, don't you know no good. D-Rob Training, what's good, my brother? Good to have you in the building this morning. The Toronto Riggers said she was first today, bro. She was first. So yeah, man, that's what we're talking about this week, purpose. And today, I got to give you a twofold thing today. And I don't really do church or religious themes. on purpose. But today I kind of have to go into it a little bit. So today may seem a little bit more, maybe not preachy, but I'm going to reference the Bible a little bit. I'm going to reference God a little bit more than I traditionally do. For those that don't know me outside of this show, I definitely I believe in God. I believe in creation, but I'm not the biggest fan of religion. And you've heard some of my reasons for not being the biggest religious fan. And it's not out of any kind of malice or heartbreak or anything like that. But I actually went and did a lot of research, and I got around a lot of people who were scholarly in their pursuits. And they kind of opened some doors in my mind and showed me some things that I saw in plain sight, but I never paid much attention to. And that's why I really don't focus on religion quite as much anymore. But I'm definitely a firm believer in God, and I believe in the principles of God. So with that being said, I want to tell y'all a little trip. I'm a veteran. No, not of the U.S. Army. I am a veteran of the U.S. Army, but I'm also a veteran of the Alaska Highway. Now, I'm aware that most people in this room do not know what the Alaska Highway is. So let me paint the picture for you. The Alaska Highway is this stretch of highway. It's roughly 1,300 miles long, and it goes from, starts in Canada, the British Columbia area, from there to the Yukon to Alaska. And it is the most beautiful views. It is the most scenic. If you are a nature lover, you would love this road. You would love the journey. It takes about 6 to 10 days to complete the drive. Now, I was stationed at Fort Bragg, North Carolina, when I got orders to go to Fairbanks, Alaska. I was going to fly like most people because it was going to take me, almost a week to 2 weeks to get there. At least I thought. But then they said, if you drive, you get some mileage. We'll do stuff for money, right? You get the mileage. And I like driving. So I'm thinking, I get a chance to see the countryside. Maybe eat some new foods, meet some new people, see how the other people live somewhere else. I've always been on that. So I opted to drive. And at the time I have what kind of car I have? I'm what, 20? How old am I? I'm 23 maybe, 23, 24. Yeah, somewhere, I'm about 23. And so I have this Chevy Cavalier 5-speed, 4-cylinder. I'm telling you that for a reason. 5-speed, 4-cylinder car. Great on gas. Zipping across the country. And I end up leaving from Alabama. Because I had just met my children's mom, and we were going to do this thing together. And so we leave Alabama. We leave from Alabama and drive all the way to Alaska. Now, driving across country was cool. But once we got into Canada, we had to drive maybe 10 hours before we got to the Alaska Highway, I think. And on that highway, I noticed something immediately. My car was not built for the Alaska Highway. My gas pedal was touching the floor. And I'm doing 15 miles an hour trying to climb these mountains. I'm surprised I didn't blow that little car up just trying to get there. I was going up these hills, these mountains, mountain regions, and the higher up I go, the more of the landscape I can see. I'm seeing crystal blue waters from lakes, just glistening. I'm seeing mountain peaks. I'm seeing beautiful trees. And then I look back into the road, and there's an 18-wheeler carrying a double load coming straight for me. And then I realized one thing. There are no guardrails. I'm seeing rock slide signs, beware falling rocks. And all of a sudden, my heart has dropped into my stomach. and I'm nervous. Now I'm white knuckling my steering wheel because every time I would try to look to the left to see some of the views, an 18 wheeler would come, boom, and they were rolling. And there were no guardrails. There was nothing to stop me from going over the side of this mountain. But that little yellow line and me not passing out. That was it. Yes, yes. Nerves was tore up. Nerves was bad. So when I say I'm a veteran of the Alaskan highway, I'm not exaggerating. This was the most perilous drive I've ever been on in my life. And had I known it was that bad, I would have flew like normal people. But then we crossed over into Canada. We were on the highway for about 3.5 days, almost 4 days. Well, we had to be 4 because we got started a little later and it got dark on us, and we didn't want to drive into where we were going in the dark, just because there was so many animals out there. And so we pulled over at this little bed and breakfast kind of hotel thing. And as I walked into the door, I saw all these bumper stickers that says, "I drove the Alaska highway." And they had pictures of this frazzled cat with his fur falling out, his whiskers standing straight up. And the cat looked like he just been through a combat zone. And I said, yes, I can relate. I'm a survivor. I did it. And so that was the most perilous drive I ever had. Yeah, I mean, but the thing is, if you don't know that you're heading for peril, you got to keep going through it, right? I can't turn around and go back. I done already said I'm driving. I've taken the money already. And it was a substantial check. They gave me mileage, they gave me food, and they gave me hotel money. And it was 800 miles just on the Alaska highway. I drove from Alabama to Alaska. That check was nice. So I couldn't give it back. I had to keep going. And the worst feeling in the world for me, I'm not really afraid of heights unless I don't have any control. If I can grab onto something, hold on to something, or somebody else is flying or driving, I'm good. But it's something about holding this steering wheel and you driving up this mountain and all you can see is the sky. The road is so steep that you can't even see the road in front of you. All you see is the sky, the vehicles passing you, and falling rock signs. Yeah, that was a nightmare for me. Yeah, mountains a little different over there, Monique. I mean that chick, yeah. Mountains are definitely a little different for me. But then there's also a beauty to Alaska that is unparalleled. When I say that was God's country, they call it God's country up there. But it's as close to the original state of creation that you're probably ever going to find. Just the open wilderness, the untouched lands, the size of the animals. You know, in Alaska, the state bird is the mosquito because it gets so big. Mosquitoes like that big, right? And these are the females. The males about that big. Okay, I'm joking. I'm exaggerating a little bit on that one. But when they bit you, it felt like you got shot. I promise you. And those black flies they got up there, man, everything's healthier in Alaska. And so today, I'm talking about the purpose of a thing, living a life of meaning. Living a life of meaning. And before I go any deeper, because like I said, I'm coming from two perspectives today. So let's go ahead and get into our gratitude before we get too deep in and time get past us. Let me check the comments real quick. All right, so when he said, "Oh, heck no." Now I would have thrown up and anxiety would have kicked in. Oh, no doubt. That was several times I pulled over in rest areas and I'm taking Pepto and Alka-Seltzer because my stomach was no good. I mean, for 3 days, I thought I was going to die, literally for 3 days. The body wasn't designed to withstand that kind of stress. This wasn't stressed at all. Man, they gonna cut my lights off, or how I'm gonna pay my cell phone bill. No, I'm literally thinking that any moment, if I get sleepy behind the wheel, if somebody coming toward me get sleepy behind the wheel, if a rock decide to fall at the perfect time, my life is over. And I'm just so young. I'm not ready to go just yet. I just want to live a little bit longer. I'm sorry, Mama, for all the wrong I done. That was a terrible thing, but I did it. Never gonna do it again, but I did it. So anyway, let's get into this. Matter of fact, I got some. This is gonna be a great gratitude session because I'm not just thinking about that. It's taking me back to a place. Let me get my waterfall out because in Alaska you see a lot of these. Not even gonna hold you too long on these gratitude today either. So we're gonna get right to it. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful for surviving the Alaska Highway. Yes, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the peril of that journey because it taught me that I can do whatever I put my mind to. It taught me that hard times may come. The journey may look dark. But if I keep one foot in front of the other, I stay focused, and I just keep going, that I can make it. I can overcome anything. So I'm grateful for that struggle. I'm grateful for my past trials, my tribulations. Because all of that combined has made me the person that I am today, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful for everything, for everybody that's in my life, that cares for me, that loves me, even that don't like me too much. I'm grateful for them also because they keep me motivated. They keep me honest. They keep me on my toes. So I'm grateful for life itself. I'm grateful for this day. I'm grateful for this channel, this community. And that means I'm grateful for you. All right. So let's continue on with the story. We're talking about being in God's country. The most interesting thing that I saw my first winter in Alaska, the first time I saw a bull moose. I had this probably at the time 90-pound Rottweiler. His name was Nas, by the way. And Nas was kind of like the house bully. If you wanted to come into the house, you had to see him. Now, he wouldn't bust a grape in a fruit fight. You know, he was just all bark. And I knew it because we got him when he was a puppy, and he basically been with us. He's been a house dog and never even sniffed another dog too hard. So I knew this guy, nothing. But one day, we at the back door. Well, he's at the back door, and he wants to go to the bathroom. And I opened the door just to let him go, but he don't go. I'm like, you ain't got to go. So I closed the door back. I never looked outside. He starts going crazy, like, rah, 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 rah. I'm just like, what is wrong with this dog? I look. It's a moose outside. Now, you know how those houses are where you have to climb like maybe six stairs to get to the level just to get in the door? Well, we were in that kind of apartment. And when I tell you there was a moose standing right by the door eating from a tree, and that moose was taller than me. Now, I know I'm not that tall. However, we at least 5 feet in the air from the ground, just the stairs. Then there's another foot from the legs to get into the house. And then I'm at least 5.5. So you telling me this moose from ankle to antler was like 11 feet tall. No exaggeration. This was the biggest creature I've ever seen. It was like a skinny elephant. I'd never seen a creature that big in my life. But that's God's country, man. Everything's bigger there. That moose didn't care about me. That moose didn't care about that dog. And that dog, when I opened that door again, let him out, I want to see what was going to happen. I shouldn't have done that. And he, rightfully so, he bagged his butt up in a corner. He shut up and he sat down. I said, oh, the bully on the block has been quieted. Because he read a real bully. But anyway, the reason I'm talking about Alaska right now, I'm not just sharing stories right now. Just, I know seems like it. But one of the next most interesting things that I saw was the salmon run. Talking about purpose now. Talking about purpose. The salmon run. And I remember seeing it for myself, but then I tried to tell somebody about it. And they didn't get as fascinated by it as I did. I explained it. I said, man, the salmon, they run so thick because people where I come from, we do like to fish. And I could see in their mind, they were thinking that it was just a lot of salmon out there just swimming up river. No, you don't get it. When the salmon run, it's almost like you could walk on the fish back to get across to the other side of the river. It's that many salmon running. And okay, what is the salmon run? The salmon run is when salmon are born first, they're born in fresh water. They're born in these rivers and these creeks and these streams. But then they migrate to the ocean and they spend most of their life in the ocean. But every now and then, they swim back upstream to lay their eggs, to spawn. And there's a whole lot of science to whether it's migration or whether it's procreation. There's a whole lot of science to it, but it's factual. The salmon run in thousands, in large numbers. And so what I decided I want to do today, I want to show you what purpose looks like. What purpose looks like. So if you bear with me, I want to share this one video real quick. Let's see, did I miss something? It said Nas was like, nah, homie. He said, nah, homie, you got it. You good. Go ahead, Pop, you got it. Nas wasn't playing that game. Not at all. So let me share this video with you real quick. Yeah, that's the one I want. All right. So I just want to paint the picture. Where we at? There we at. So I just want to paint this picture real quick. This is at low tide. And there's a stream that dumps into a lake. And what you're going to see here is not just the amount of salmon that's out there, but you're going to see how, well, you know what? I'm going to let you watch it for yourself. Then we'll discuss it.
All right, so we're in Valdez, Alaska right now. And we didn't come here just for the amazing sunset. We came here because there is a tremendous amount of pink salmon that return to these creeks, and it's a pretty amazing sight. So here's a little culvert, and the fish are ultimately trying to go up this culvert. But what you don't see is all of these fish right here. Look at the numbers of fish that is right here. Hundreds of thousands of pink salmon are trying to return. So what you're seeing here is low tide, so the fish can't really go up any further. They're stranded. These are all pink salmon all the way through here, all the way across. I'm gonna give you a bird's eye view. They're all pinks. So it is low tide, and a lot of them just have nowhere to go.
Did that paint the picture? Do you understand what I'm saying now when I say it's thousands of salmon migrating back up the river? And what's going to happen once the tide comes back in? All those fish are going to jam into that little tubing to get back upstream so they can lay their eggs. So, and what they say is that when the fish come into the rivers, the reason they know where to go is that there's a scent in the water that's familiar to them, where they were born, where they came from. And that's where they have this crazy desire to go back to lay their own eggs. It's like legacy. It's like legacy. And what's legacy? As humans, legacy is, passing on of traditions, bloodline, inheritance from family to children, from parents to child to grandchild. For animals, we talked about this early on. We're talking about purpose. For animals, the purpose of nature, in a sense, it's procreation, it's survival. Their purpose is to survive and to make more of them. That's the purpose of nature, to keep going. We talked about it when we first started this community. Every animal is born with what it needs to survive. Every animal is born with it. The migration patterns are in their heads already. Genetically, they have it already. These salmon will spend hours in puddles of water just kicking, because fish don't generally sit still. And then there's birds, predators behind them trying to pick them off. So they're constantly moving for days upon days, trying to get upstream to lay their eggs. Most of them, they're so weak when they try to get back, they don't make it. They fall prey to bears and birds and fishermen. I mean, all those guys out there, they're going to be fishing. But you don't even need a net or a hook right now. You can just stick your hand in the water and pick up a fish, because they're that plenteous, because they're on purpose. They're going up these rivers for one reason only: to lay those eggs, to spawn. Because that's the intent of their creation. That's why they were created, to survive and to make more. That's their purpose. And some would say, well, why is that their purpose? It's because maybe they're supposed to be part of the life cycle. Maybe if they stop producing, the life cycle deteriorates. Humans, however, we're the only ones who kind of have a quote unquote choice in the matter. But I argue, do we really have a choice in the matter? I think we have a purpose as humans. I think there's a mission, there's a reason for us being where we are and how we are. And I think there's a reason why most people are unhappy in their life. They're unhappy with their career. They're unhappy with so many aspects around them, because they don't understand their purpose. And finding purpose is a very tough thing to do most times. It's because you don't really find it. I mean, you do, but it's more of a discovery. You discover your purpose along the journey. This is why it's important that we live a life of meaning. We live a life that we're proud of. We live a life that gives us that feel good, not just for the check. Don't get me wrong. Check is important too. But remember, we talked about money being service. You earn money through service. If you have to do that, if you have a lifestyle that requires you to make a certain amount of money, then whatever that is, you do that. However, also find the work that gives you that feeling, that joy, that internal thing that makes you come alive on the inside. No worries, Blaxican. Hola. Hola. No problemo. When you think about, I think about Steve Jobs, right? Steve Jobs created the iPad, the iPod first. Why did he create the iPod? Because back in the day, people like me, I'd be sitting in my little car and I got my 6 disc CD changer. Who knows about it? Who remember that 6 disc CD changer in the car? Yes, who remembers that? And I got my old school hip hop. I got my 70s playlist. I got my slow jams. I got my R&B, my ride out music. I got my club crunk music. And I got, me personally, I would always have some kind of a motivational, like a sermon or some kind of motivational cassette. You know, they call it, what do you call that? Car University. Yeah, I've always been in that kind of self improvement thing anyway. But I had it going all the time in my car. And I used to hate to leave the car because I would just sit, when I got where I was going, I would just sit in the car, man, and just keep vibing out. And I think Steve Jobs is feeling the same way. He said the party shouldn't stop when we leave the car. So I need to make sure that I got something that I can take all my music with me. And so he created the iPod. The iPod. And the iPod basically is just a bunch of song tracks that you put in this little device. You plug your headphones in and you just listen. It's a little wheel. You see, he had an intent for the design that he created. That was an intent. That was this idea why it was created. And so those of you who believe like I believe as humans, we were created for a purpose. There was an original intent that God had when he said, let there be, right? I believe that. And I think most of us spend our whole lives trying to find that purpose, trying to find the meaning of this thing called life. If you think back, let's go back to our great grandparents. You know, maybe like, you know, if you were from the African American community right after slavery, right? Our families were sharecropping mostly, or we had farms in other places. And so you had a lot of large families because we can't afford to hire help to work this land. This land now belongs to our family. So we want to create more children to work the land. You see, it's a purpose. It's still a purpose. Because this is the land that they're going to inherit. And it's also a reason why you don't see extremely large families like you used to. Once upon a time, if a family had 8 to 14 kids in it, because large families were required. Now, you'd be lucky if if you got 3 in a family sometimes. Because it's not required. The purpose, the intent, life has changed. So what am I talking about today? Living a life of meaning. Living a life of meaning. And so what I like to do on Tuesdays, I like to find articles that kind of go along with what the topic is. Sometimes they give me a little bit more insight. Sometimes they give what I'm saying a little bit more credibility. But this time, it does both. It does both. It's an article, I got it from betterup.com. And betterup.com, it's really a blog, but they do a lot of inspiring articles. And so they have this one post that it made sense, and it's a lot of things that we've already talked about. So I wanted to share that with you guys today. So the title of the article is How to Find Purpose in Life. How to find purpose in life. Now, I've already told you, I don't believe we find purpose as much as discover purpose. So keep that frame of mind in context as we are going forward today. I think we discover a purpose more than we find it. Now, like I said, went into, I'm not going into the scripture super deep, but I may come back and circle around on some things. So just be prepared for that. So the first thing, let me go ahead and let me share back again. Boom, here we go. All right. So how to find purpose in life. These 12 tips. 1, develop a growth mindset. Can I make that a little bigger for you? Let's see. Nope, I can't make it no bigger for you this time. All right. Having a growth mindset is linked to having a sense of purpose. Constantly growing and becoming a better version of yourself helps you identify your purpose and commit to pursuing it. Can't read today. A growth mindset also allows you to embrace challenges as opportunities, persevere in spite of failure, accept feedback and constructive criticism. Where's my picture at? There we go. All right. So basically, we've already had this conversation about having a growth mindset. We've talked about it already. But what this article is saying is that a growth mindset is linked to having a sense of purpose. It's because you are on a trajectory where you are improving. You're trying to become a better version of yourself. And it's in that improving space, that's when you learn more about you. That's when you learn that, like me on the Alaska Highway, if I had to do it again, and I mean absolutely had to do it again, I know I could do it now. Now, had somebody told me before I did it, I probably wouldn't have done it. And now I would have never known. I would have never cracked that seal on that part of my makeup, which would have put me in a lot of, actually, it would have taken me out of some situations. Because once you know you can do a thing, it makes other things possible. And I think that's the beauty of having that growth mindset. Once you know I overcame A, B, and C, what's D? What's E? It's too easy. Once I've overcome this heartbreak, I'm not going to be afraid to love again because I survived it. It hurt, but I learned so much more about myself. Now I'm going to take the lesson, I'm going to get better, and I'm going to go try it again. Because if I can have the relationship that I thought that was, but actually have it, I know my flaws, I know my faults, I know what I didn't do. Now I can take that, I can remix it, put it over here, and maybe get a better outcome. The person that refuses to grow, the person that refuses to get back on that horse and ride again, the person that refuses to improve themselves, they're not going to lead a very happy life. And we know people like they're not families. They're the ones who are always toxic, always got negative comments, negative words to say, negative thoughts, negative everything. Because they refuse to adopt a growth mindset. They refuse to do it another way. And so number 2 on this list, let's see, how can I do this one? Number 2 on this list, I got so many windows popping open here. There we go. I see it now. All right. Create a personal vision statement. A personal vision statement can help you manage stress and find balance in your life. It also serves as a roadmap that will guide you toward your purpose by identifying your core values and establishing what's important to you. A purpose statement makes it easier for you to make decisions aligned to your values and help you stay motivated as you work towards your personal goals. Also, having a personal vision statement, to me, is akin to knowing your why. Knowing your what, knowing your why. Knowing what you want is crucial. But having a strong enough why helps you get past all the hurdles, all the barriers that's going to come your way. Do you realize most people will tell you no at least 6 times before they even think about saying yes? That's a stat. Factual stat. Most people will say no 6 times before they ever think about saying yes the first time. So if you scared of the word no, you're never going to get anywhere in life. You're always going to feel rejected. You're going to But if you have a personal mission statement, a personal vision, something that's your guidepost, something that you could focus on and say, I'm going this way. I don't care what they say. I don't care what they say. Like, it's like you going through the mall and you going through the food court and everybody got a sample for you. If you already ate or you dead set on, you want lobster or you want that Wagyu, that A5 Wagyu, and they trying to give you some Chinese food, trying to give you some pizza bites. They're trying to give you some deli meat. I mean, all that's cool, And if you eat everything along the way, by the time you get to your goal, by the time you get to that Wagyu, you're not going to enjoy it because you're already full. You already ate. You stopped and tasted everything. So now, was your why strong enough? Did you really want that steak, and why did you want it? Did you really want that lobster, and why did you want it? You see, you're easily distracted when your why isn't strong enough. And I'm just talking about food. I ain't talking about life punching you in the face on the way. I ain't talking about the bottom dropping out of your life. Why? Your why has to be important. And that personal vision statement should be all about that why. So create it. My core values, I believe this. This is what I expect. Create that for yourself. Have that to lean on, especially when times get a little chippy, when times get a little hard. Number 3 is giving back. Okay, let's go with it. Let's see. Enhance your sense of meaning and purpose in life. This means that when you help others, you also help yourself. It's like psychologically, when you give, and in the Bible we talk, give without, expecting anything in return. I have embraced the word no because I know the right yes is coming. Exactly. The right yes is coming. Everybody is not going to be on the same path that you're on. They're not going to be in the same season that you're in. And so you may be wanting something that they just can't fathom yet. They don't know yet. They don't see. They don't understand yet. But somebody does. Somebody is waiting for you. There's a saying that everything you're looking for is also looking for you. I found that to be true. Everything that I've been looking for, it was looking for me. It may not have came from the place I thought it would come, or I actually wanted it to come. But once I got my eyes off of this specific thing or specific person or place or thing that I wanted it to be, I thought it was going to be this job, but it ended up being this one over here. I thought it was going to be this person, but it ended up being this person over here. Once I started focusing on what I wanted, not who or, who I wanted, but what I wanted, I found out that what I wanted was also looking for me. Number 4, I'm going to go through these kind of fast. Practice gratitude. Boom, we do it every morning. Practice gratitude. Matter of fact, y'all think I'm making this up, but I'm not. Practice gratitude. We do this every morning because you have to be grateful. Let's see, focusing on gratitude in addition to acts of altruism strengthen the participant's sense of purpose. Another study revealed that gratitude activates the same reward responses in the brain as pro-social behaviors. Boom. Putting yourself in a space of gratitude, it changes everything. Your mood, your mentality. Number 5, turn your pain into purpose. Remember we talked about transmuting, taking the feelings of one thing and putting it into something else, taking the energy you have from this heartbreak, this breakup, and you put it into your career, learning a new skill, getting more proficient at a thing. Turn your pain into purpose. Don't just sit there and suffer. Use that energy because we're all vibrating. Don't just stagnate because you're not standing still. You're either ascending or you're descending. Be intentional about where you put your energy. especially if it's pain, because pain can be destructive. Pain can be destructive in a lot of ways. 6, explore your passions. Your passions and your interests are good indicators of the area in which your life purpose might be. Remember, we talked about doing a thing that you like to do and then maybe finding a way to make money doing it. If you don't explore your passions, if you don't do those things you really enjoy doing, if you only chasing the dollar in other areas, then you never feel that sense of fulfillment. And most times, the things that we discover our purpose to be are the things that give us the most satisfaction in life. Because overall, what is purpose actually? Purpose is connection and it's fulfillment. It is connection and fulfillment. Purpose is not religion. Like I'm not one of the people that believe that I gotta live my whole life and my purpose is to go to heaven. I gotta live potentially 80 years in misery and in pain, doing stuff that I hate, being bitter and cynical. If I lived a life like that was like that, would I even enjoy heaven? Would God even want me up there? Because I'm so bitter. No, we have this life to live, and we're supposed to live. We're supposed to enjoy this life. So the things that you enjoy doing, go do it. Explore new ways to do it. Find options and groups that are doing it. Go do the things that you enjoy doing. I told you guys about the knitting circle. The lady who was doing the knitting circle, and she just was doing it for herself and posted on social media, and people will, then she got a group. Then she got another group. Then she got a subscription group. She's making thousands of dollars a month just knitting. There's no rhyme or reason to knitting other than it's therapeutic, it's self-care, it's creative. I'm not trying to do it. However, thank God the world don't like just what I like. And the things that I like, thank God everybody don't like that too. You have to explore your passions to really maximize your life. Then you'll discover your passion. And quite honestly, man, the things that make you the most upset, you're probably supposed to do something about that. The things that bring you the most joy, you're probably supposed to do more of that. The things that come just so easily to you, you probably should teach that. I think we don't find our purpose. I think we discover it along the journey. Success is the pursuit of a worthwhile or worthy ideal, right? 7, be part of a community. So if you're already here, I dare say you on purpose right now. I dare say if you're part of this community, I dare say it. Because I know it's part of my purpose. Gary said, I love the quote, live full, die empty. Toronto Rodriguez says, if you look back over our lives, even as a child, there has always been clues of what our purpose was supposed to be. Yeah. It follows us. We just have to pay attention to the clues. Exactly. That's it. Remember I said earlier in the week, I think most of us knew before we were 10 what we actually wanted to do. I think most of us just know, but life just kicks it out of us sometimes. Adults kick it out of us sometimes. They tell us to grow up and be realistic. You know how many people making money playing video games today that we started back in the 90s? We mastered these games, but then we had to go become adults and be in reality. Now I got 12-year-olds making millions of dollars playing freaking Call of Duty online. Because my parents told me to be realistic. I think we always know, man. Being part of a community. Purpose is about feeling connected to others. So being an active member of a community can contribute to a greater sense of purpose in life. How many of you guys say when you start these mornings off here, you look forward to coming here and it just makes your day, you start your day just better. When you start good, you see the good. When you start bad, you see the bad. Being part of a community helps with that. When you find your purpose, you'll discover that there are many others out there who share your passions, interests, and values. Exactly. I'm gonna get that one a bomb. All right, number 8. So I crossed so they can walk, huh? Number 8. What time we got? All right. Spend time with people who inspire you. I think that goes without saying. Spend time with people who inspire you. Maybe you can't spend time with them, like physically, but read their book, join their morning motivation, listen to their podcast. People that inspire you, read book stories about them. Maybe it's a grandparent. Go listen to them tell stories. I mean, just spend time with people who inspire you. Read. That's the thing that I've done the most of in probably the last 20 years of my life. I've become a reader, and I read a ridiculous amount. And I do more listening now. But I have an Audible account, and I easily have 150 to 200 books in my Audible account, and I'm always listening to something every week now. I will be honest. Podcasts have kind of taken some of my listenership away because I love what's happening in the now also. I love people's thoughts and ideas and processes on stuff, and I get inspired by people. So I do that as well. Number 10, join a cause. Find something that you believe in. Fight for it. Give back. Forming a community, forming part of a community. Doing something you're passionate about. Surround yourself with people who inspire you. My mom, of course, joins pretty much every cancer society or fight for the cure, march or walk. And I tell you, when we go to those, I go with her a lot. And when we go to those events, there's an energy in the place where there's hope, people believing, and it's so inspirational. Joining the cause, man, it gives you a reason to fight a little harder. It gives you comrades in the struggle. Promise you. These are good tips. Practice self-acceptance. Oh, everything I'm not makes me everything I am. You are good enough. These are the affirmations. This is what the affirmations are for. Practicing self-acceptance, declaring what you want. I am statements. Man. Let's see. You cross like walk facts. Okay, listening to your book had me wanting to go back and fight a couple of people. Shout out to my sis. Oh man, when the next time I had to get into a fight, I'm gonna call you up. All right, I'm gonna hold you to that. I know, right? I know. But look. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. All right, number 12. Take time for self-care. Take time for self-care. That speaks for itself. You have to get in spaces that revive you, that rejuvenate you. You have to be around people that bring life to you. You have to be in the spaces that recharge your battery. People that will let you sometimes just vomit just the bad energy off. And I prefer not to give that to people. That's why I love fishing so much. That's why I love walking, and I like long walks. I like fishing. I like listening to music. I like reading books and listening to podcasts because it puts new information in my mind and helps me make sense of the stuff that's going on in my head that may not be as healthy or productive. Taking time for self-care. But you know what I discovered though? On my healing journey with my self-care, I discovered that most people do the best they can in most moments. Most people do the best they can most of the time. But built up pressure, built up stress, anxieties, fears, traumas. All of these things cause us to act out of pocket because we're still searching for a thing called purpose. We're still searching for meaning in our lives. And we end up mistreating and abusing people along the way that we had no intention on abusing. I can't fathom in my head that any person would intentionally, especially their own child, have the intention, oh, I'm gonna beat the hell out of this person for the rest of their life. Oh yeah. No, it was a bad day. I don't think many people come home from work wanting to have an argument in their homes with their spouse. But it was the mess that happened at the office. It was the traffic, the car ride on the way home. It was the frustration of what's happening around, and somebody said something that, now I let go, I exploded. You see, that's why it's so imperative that we discover our purpose, while we have those personal vision statements, while we do the gratitude, while we do the affirmations. Because that's all the medicine that we need to keep us going in a place where we're not hurting others. Because most of our purposes is to help, is to become more, is to subdue, to have dominion. Ha ha ha. I circle back around on that one, right? Most of our purposes is an uplifting one. I don't think I know anybody who has a negative purpose. Although life would suggest that there are some. I don't know any, but maybe I do, who knows? But discovering the purpose gives our lives meaning. And when we have meaning, we're less angry, we're less bitter, we're less cynical. Discovering who we are and what we're supposed to do brings the ultimate fulfillment in life. And that just by default makes you happy. I know a lot of people, I've been on jobs like this myself where every day I hate going in there. Every day I don't like the people that I'm working with. Every day I have to build myself up just to walk through the door and not slap a mug. I do not want to live my life that way. So I started to find my purpose. I went on a journey of discovery. And all these 12 tips, in some shape, form, maybe not spelled out the same way, but it's what I've been doing for the last 10, 15, 20 years. Turning my pain into purpose. Joining causes. Creating personal vision statements. This list of things is what I've been doing. Practicing gratitude, giving back, developing a growth mindset. This is what it looks like to discover purpose, discover your purpose. And the biggest clue is if you find yourself really agitated about a certain thing that's happening in the world. You find yourself madly in love with the concept or an idea or something that you just do effortlessly. So much so that you think it's nothing, but everybody's amazed by it. All these are clues. And success always leaves clues. Success always leaves clues. There's always role models and people out there that's going to give you the blueprint. But you got to be in community. You got to be in groups where those people exist. So that's purpose, man. That is what living a life of meaning looks like. That is discovering purpose. Yesterday we had a little bit broader conversation of, what is purpose. Today we diving into, how, I don't say how to discover it, but it kind of was a how to discover day. But it's more about the meaning we attribute to our lives. Purpose gives our life more meaning. And when we feel fulfilled, we feel that connection, we tend to be more pleasant. We tend to be more happy, appreciative of not just what we have going on, but everybody else around us. We're impatient with people because we're unhappy with our lives. People are mean to us because they're mad with themselves. Mothers and daughters and fathers and sons don't get along because of regrets, because of mistakes, because of misplaced energies because they were not fulfilled. The blame game. I can't blame anybody for what they did to me because I refuse to hold that. I turn my pain into purpose. But I also know as I've grown older, I've done some things that I wish I could take back because of where I was in my life. So how dare I hold somebody else responsible for something that I do or I did? But I don't excuse it. I don't act like it didn't happen. I freely talk about it because it all makes me who I am and it forms my decisions. It makes me a better person. And I hope you are taking it in that same way in your life because I know we all have our own pain. We all have our own things that we go through. So let's get into these affirmations and get ready to close it out this morning. Monique says, I appreciate everyone on here. Positive vibes and supportive communication. Yes, ma'am. That's what it is. I am super excited for all of you and all that you do. Wow. All right, let's get into these affirmations and let's declare some things. I am. I am. I am happy with the person that I am becoming because I am capable, I am able, I am more than enough. I am confident, I am secure, I am fruitful, and favor follows me everywhere that I go. I live in a state of discovery. I am watching my life unfold in many miraculous and marvelous ways. I am the head and not the tail. I am a conqueror. I am chosen. I am loved. I am honored. I am respected. And I have the ability to accomplish every dream that I set, every goal that I create. I am more than enough. And I am confident in my ability to provide for my family, to provide for myself, and to even provide for my children and their children. I am more than enough. I am bold. I am confident. I am beautiful. I am strong. I am amazing. And I am high on myself. Higher than I've ever been. Because I am worthy. I am more than enough. Woo! Hope I didn't get too preachy on y'all this morning. But purpose, this one is always tough for me because there's so many moving pieces to the purpose puzzle. And if you have perverted your purpose, if you have, when I mean by perverted, if you have discovered your purpose and you use that for bad ends versus good ends, that does something to you. Or you misappropriate your purpose. It does something to you. And I'm not super concerned about that being most people's story, because most people they still discovering. So there's not, and I don't think anybody in this room has perverted their purpose. It's very hard to pervert the purpose. just because of the nature of it. Facts. Let's see. Once you have learned the upbringing of someone, you understand more of their whys. It also teaches you how to love them. Woo, girl, you better stop. I like it. No, keep going. Keep going. I'm sorry. Keep going. I'm trying to squelch your purpose. Now let me not do that. I like it. I like it. But though that's big facts. That's big facts. And that's why reading is so important. That's why being in communities like this is so important. Podcasts are important. Getting the information, understanding where people come from, because we all are on the same search. And if I can help you find yours, I can help you along your journey. Guess what that does for me? It lifts me a little higher to get to mine. So tomorrow, what are we talking about tomorrow? Tomorrow we're going to do another case study. And it's probably going to be a two-person case study because I want to use somebody that's very unexpected when we talk about purpose. So I think I want to do a case study on somebody who never discovered their purpose, at least in life. Their purpose was discovered after they died. And then there was a person who discovered their purpose early in life. So I think we're going to do a two-person case study tomorrow. But as we get ready to get up out of here, I am grateful for the support and the energy that is in this group presently, or has been from the very beginning. Validation matters. And so I'm on my journey. And I was supposed to do this show 2 years ago. But life punched me in the face hard. And I stopped. And I almost didn't pick it back up because I got busy and I got distracted and I started doing other things. But being around good people that remind you of who you are is essential. And sometimes we need them to be our guides, to be our mile markers. So I want to give a special shout out to, there's a couple guys in this group that haven't known one of them very long. But my guy Health Talk, man, when I met this guy, he reinvigorated a spirit in me. And so I just want to give a special shout out to Health Talk. I ain't gonna dox him, so I'm gonna keep calling him Health Talk. And he checking out now. Y'all have a wonderful day, no matter what. There you go, bro. And this guy, he impacted my life in a lot of ways, and he's one of the reasons why I started back doing this show. Randy said, trick or treat everybody, keep pushing. You are more than enough. That's right. So shout out. I'm gonna start at the bottom this time, then I'm gonna come back to the bottom in case I missed somebody. Shout out to my guy Randy. It's my day one. Interesting story how we met. We'll tell that another time, though. But he's the day one since we were 12, 13 years old. My guy Health Talk, I just told you about him. But big shout out to Monique with all the energy and all the great comments. Serrano Riggins, sis, you doing the thing too. Always coming with the fire, always coming with the heat and the energy. Bobbyette, baby, you always supporting your man, and I really appreciate it. 10 toes down, 10 fingers as well, baby. To the moon and back. Oh man, that chick, yo, Cuzzo, thank you for the continued support, everything that you do. Gary Josh said, I know you doing the work thing, my guy, but we gotta connect real soon, man. We gotta connect soon. Thank you for your support and all that you do. Oh man, am I missing somebody? Brick by Brick, appreciate you, brother. I know sometimes people come in early and they have to leave. I want to make sure I get everybody in. But I'm just grateful for all of you and everything that you do. And if I missed you, don't take it personal. Just love me and I'll get it right the next day. With that being said, I am out. It's been a pleasure. And I will see you tomorrow for Hump Dave.